have to find the paragraph that is given, and you have to find the summary that best captures the essence of the passage. You need to focus on this word, the essence of the passage. The strategy for the para summary is, I would say, the option elimination rather than selecting the correct option. So you can approach the Bain approach, eliminate anything which is broad, alien, narrow, and extreme, right? And then looking at what is the key idea? What is the most important idea? So the most important idea definitely needs to be encapsulated by the summary. So let's see this question. So language is an automorphy found only in our lineage and not shared with other branches of our group such as primates. Okay. So it's found only in our lineage and it is not shared by other primates. We also have no definitive evidence that any species other than Homo sapiens ever had language. Okay, now the same idea is being elaborated. However, so there is a transition in the idea. It must be noted straightway that language is not a monolithic entity. So the author believes that it's not a monolithic entity, right? Now, but rather a complex bundle of traits that must have evolved over a significant time of frame. Moreover, language crucially draws on aspects of cognition that are long established in the primate lineage. So they say that the language crucially draws on the aspects of cognition that are established in the primate lineage, such as memory. The language faculty as a whole comprises more than just uniquely linguistic features, right? So basically we can see here that there are a couple of the main points that the author has highlighted. So the passage initially highlights that language is unique to humans only because it is not found in other primates, right? But then they say that it has evolved over a long period of a time. Okay, so it is not a monolithic entity or something. It is something that is a complex bundle of traits that must have evolved over a significant period of time. And then it involves cognitive aspects such as your memory, right? And then he says that language, at last, he stresses upon the fact that language is a complex bundle. Okay, so it's a complex bundle of traits and it is not a single or a monolithic entity. So these were basically the key ideas that were being highlighted in this paragraph. So let's see which summary best captures the answer to this question. The correct answer to this question is option number 3. Okay, that is language involved with linguistic features, building on features of cognition such as memory, right? Now the option is most accurate because it actually captures the main idea from the passage. Okay, the passage actually initially emphasized that language is not a single or a, I would say, a simple trait. Okay, it is a complex bundle of traits. Okay, it's a complex combination of features that evolved over a significant period of time. Okay, and then secondly, it highlights the importance of cognitive feature such as memory in the you can say that in the development of language. Okay, so he says that in the development of the language, the cognitive features such as memory plays a vital role. And by stating that linguistic features build on cognitive features, this summary, so it says that language evolved with linguistic features, building on features of cognition such as memory. So this actually it captures or reflects the intricate relationship between different aspects of the language evolution, which is being mentioned in the passage, right? Now let's see what are the problem with the other options. So option number 1 says that language, a derived trait found only in humans, has evolved over time and involves memory, right? Now, while this option is partially correct, okay, but it does not highlight that complexity, right? So it says language, a derived trait found only in humans, has evolved over time and involves memory. Okay, so it misses upon that complexity of language that is being described in the passage. Okay, and secondly, no doubt that it mentions the evolution part. Okay, but it fails to capture the idea that again the language is a complex bundle of traits, and it does not even highlight the relationship between the linguistic features and the cognitive aspects. Okay, so this aspect that the linguistic features, they build on features of cognition such as memory, so it misses upon that point also. So which was actually the key idea of the passage. So that is the reason that A is not your answer, right? Now language is distinctively human feature as there is no evidence of the existence of language in any other species. So no doubt that it captures the first part of the passage where they say that the language, where they identify the uniqueness of the language only to human, okay, but it misses the, again, the emphasis on the complexity, it misses upon the idea of the evolution, okay, and it also misses upon that cognitive aspect that is involved. So it does not capture the main idea, so hence it cannot be a summary. Now, language is not a single or a uniform entity, but the end result of a long and complex process of linguistic evolution. Now, again, you may be tempted towards this particular option because this option is partly correct. Okay, it acknowledges the, just a second, I need to drag this. Okay, so it acknowledges the complexity process. Okay, and then it actually brought out this linguistic evolution. But then there is a problem. Okay, it introduces a new term, the linguistic evolution. Now, what is this linguistic evolution, which is not, I mean, this is not specifically mentioned in the passage. Okay, the passage discusses the evolution of language, okay, as involving multiple cognitive traits and processes such as memory was one of them. But by focusing solely on linguistic evolution, this overlooks the broader context, okay, so which includes the cognitive aspect, which is beyond this linguistic features and linguistic evolution. So by that logic, the C is actually the correct answer.